How y'all doing? Alex Exis here, just top 8'd at Dream Wizards case tournament on Sunday for Legacy Destruction. I played branded Voiceless, and I think it's a good deck. I think it's one of the better decks in the format. It can put up an Omni Negate, it can put up an Inherent Summon Negate, and also the new Ritual Monster is a hand rip, and it does so much for the deck. Plus the new spell card. So let's just get right into it. This is the main deck. This is the one card you don't mind seeing. You don't want to open it going first, but it's just there for the branded package. So, also when you're going second, you can use it to break a board because it's a super poly pretty much. Next card, 3 Fenrirs, because I opted for more of a board breaker strategy. So I felt like Fenrir just put a lot of pressure, and my opponent had to respect it when it hit the field. So I played 3 of those. 3 Ash. 3 Ash Blossom because I respect Branded. Branded Fusion is a card, and I don't want them to resolve it.
That's fair.
This is my Diviner package. Diviner, I think, is one of the better normal summons of the deck. Just because you can use this, send this, and you can either send this, make this a level 9 to tribute off for the spell, then you get your low, and then you save this in the graveyard for an interruption on your opponent's turn, or you just use it to get your play started by tributing it off and getting low on the field. One Old Man Ceravis. I always want to end the board with him on the field just because first effect can tag him out, put on the Ritual Ceravis, and just get an Inherent Summon again with the amount of Link summoning and Synchro summoning going on in the format. I just think this is very good. Also, you can use the Trap card. If you get the Trap card live on turn 1, you can shuffle this back and get this out there for just 1 card going back to the deck. 3 Saphira. What can I say? She's a Foolish Burial, and she can also add from the graveyard or the deck. She's also, when you use her for ritual summoning, you can also use non-light monsters as material for the ritual summon.
Wait, actually? We haven't actually never...
Just only the ritual spell says you have to use light monsters.
Okay, did not know that actually.
Pretty low. I mean, she's just great. Placing a field just beats around Ash. I mean, you're gonna get Effect Veiler, but put them on better habit. Also, just being able to come back whenever a ritual monster special summon, not just ritual summon, is just really good because of what the ritual spell does in the graveyard. So if any of your ritual monsters get removed by card effect or anything, it just, you bring one back. If this is in the graveyard triggers, then you get another spell on the field. I know this is kind of weird, but I opted for 3 Skull Guardians.
Okay.
Because I'm not the best at resource management, and a lot of people just don't see it coming. And in the longer grind games, which I ended up being in a lot during this tournament, the 3rd Skull Guardian came up a lot. 2 Ceravis, I don't mind seeing it in my hand most of the time. It's a anti-imperm, anti-effect veiler on your effects. Also, it's not once per turn for any one of the effects, so when you summon it for the summon negate, you also have the anti-imperm veiler, and you can pitch it to use for a cost for your ritual summons. And then the new card, the new Saphira. I think she's good. You can kind of fix your hand when you ritual summon her. Draw 2 cards, and then when you swing it, when you attack with a ritual monster, Light Warrior Dragon, she rips a card out of your opponent's hand, and at the end of your opponent's turn, you can add a light monster from graveyard to hand. I just think it's a great one-of, and I don't mind making her. I don't see her as a brick. Onto the traps. Like I said, I'm just running 3 Imperm, just because Effect Negation is good.
Yeah.
And the 1 Radiance of the Voiceless Voice. Cards crack now, especially with the new spell card that came out. In Legacy Destruction, you can use the pop effect and you can recycle it back. So, like I said, I opted more for a board breaker approach, and I like this better than Effect Veiler because if I hold it to my turn, I can use it kind of to negate a monster that's going to pose me a problem on my turn. Now on to the spells. This is a lot of the time my opponent doesn't see this coming because if they droll me or anything like this helps me play through a lot of hand traps. Like if they droll me on the ad from barrier, I can then activate this in hand, put the Skull Guardian with the Fallen Albaz, then I can use Saphira to dump the ritual spell, and then I can add the Skull Guardian from the graveyard back to the hand, and I can ritual summon. Also, when you add Lubellion, or when you put Lubellion on the field to put everything back, you can also use Lubellion as the tribute fodder. Then use Skull Guardian to add low. I mean, if you're not under draw at that point, but it just helps me play around, and it lets me be a little bit more resilient than just like one hand trap pass. 1-for-1. It's just a good card. Low's a level 1, and if I can get her on the field, I have a better chance of winning. So 3 droplets, because like I said, I played more of the board breaker approach. There's not a lot of Omni negates in here, but if people put up a lot of monsters, I can just use droplets and play through their board, because I feel like my engine is pretty good at going through boards. Pre-prep, it's a +1 in card advantage, and worst comes to worst, if my hand isn't the absolute worst, it lets me get my Omni Negate online and low on the field. 1 Blessings. Honestly, I was waiting for this card to come out. It's really good because when my opponent wants to banish with Bisteels, because low has a big ass target on her back when she's in the graveyard, and this card just says no, I can get it back. And the crazy thing about it is you can get your Saphira back and you can get your ritual spells back that you're going to be banishing, so it just helps you in the grind game. Also, quick FYI, you can add this off of barrier if you've already got the enough hand, because barrier says any Voiceless voice card, so you can add this. And then when you ritual summon using this effect, the monster can't be destroyed by battle, so now you have a 4100 Towers-esque monster. I ran 3 Prayers of the Voiceless Voice. I know a lot of people run 2. Again, bad at resource management, but the banish effect, because if I see 2 in my hand, then my pre-prep is dead and also Saphira is dead. So I have bad luck, so I just play 3 because I don't see 3 in my hand.
And considering your luck at pulling, I'm surprised that this is where your bad luck comes.
Good at pulling, bad at. You like that Saphira? I pulled that Saphira. 3 barrier, what can I say? Just makes my shit harder to target, makes it harder out, and it's a once per turn add from the deck. And it pretty much gets it can get the whole engine started. Granted, your hand isn't absolute garbage.
That's fair.
Onto the extra deck, I'm playing quite a big Brandon package. I'm playing 2 Albion because just in case something happens, I want to have an Albion to send off of Mirror Jade, and you know, it's just a good card, so if I can't shuffle this back into the deck, I can still send one with the Mirror Jade effect and get my Brain Infusion again. So I play the 1 Lubellion because when I make Lubellion, since I only have light monsters, I banish Albion to make Lubellion, so Lubellion can shuffle my 1 Fallen Albaz back, so my other 2 Brain Infusions aren't dead. And then I go into Mirror Jade. I played 2 Mirror Jade just because I had the space in the extra deck. And your opponent has to respect this card. I mean, they have to. It's just a non-target banish. Titaniclad and Rinbrum. Just more cards that said Fallen Albaz just to send off a Mirror Jade if the shit hit the fan. 1 Elder Entity Entis just to send off for the Diviner. 1 Relinquished Anima because I'm running a level 1 low. Typhon. If everything goes south, I can make a Typhon and maybe address the biggest threat in the room or turn off all their big monsters. Double Dynamondo. This card I would say was mandatory at 2 before the set came out. I am considering dropping it to 1, but it's still good and I have the extra deck space. It can address problems. It can just shuffle, non-target. It's a non-targeting destroy. It's a non-targeting removal of your opponent's cards. Also, you can tag it out to get another spell on the board. Herald is a synchro. Send it off a Diviner. Get the play started. Chaos Angel because I can make it with Trius and low. And it's a big boy. You can get rid of a card. Also unaffected, and it's just a big body. And then 1 SP just in case things go very sideways. go make low with a relinquish Panama, then link another body, get a banish of a card that's a problem. Yeah, I wouldn't change the extra deck too much. And onto the extra deck, I've got, or the side deck, I'm sorry. 3 Ghost Ogre, because Tenpai is a deck.
That's fair.
Tenpai is a deck, Voiceless is a deck, and this card is just, I think, is going to be seeing a lot more play in this format. Bisteel Magnuma, Bisteel Druid Swarm. I didn't side them in too much, but I think that being able to get rid of, like, branded, if I don't see any removal and they sanctify me, I don't want them to gimmick puppet me. So this is there for that. I'm playing 1 Cosmic and 2 Lightning Storm for back row removal. I don't want my opponent to have back row when I play into it. Raigeki and Feather Duster. Feather Duster just because it gets rid of back row. Raigeki because a lot of people put their shit in defense, so it is what it is. It's just going to get rid of it. And then 3D Barrier because lack of Omni negates in this format. Voiceless Voice, I can shut off the mirror match, I can shut off by calling Ritual, Branded, I can shut it off. I call Infusion, Tenpai, I can call Synchro. Yeah, I just feel like this card is going to be seeing a lot of play in this format just because of how it's shaping up. The only thing I might change on this extra deck is these might go, or a combination of Raigeki and Cosmic might go because I want to play Spellbound for the Snake Eye matchup because they play a lot of Link monsters, and if I'm able to stall them with my board, then flip up Spellbound, it kind of shuts them down. But other than that, this is my deck. It plays very well. If you're considering playing Voiceless Voice, Branded is a very strong option. If you have the Melodious cards, I feel like that's a very strong option too. But I did not have the Melodious cards at the case tournament, so I played with what I had. And I think I did pretty well. I went X1 1. I had a tie against a pile deck. But other than that, the deck performed well, even with only 3 6-hand traps. But yeah, I just want to shout out to everyone at Dream Wizards and my buddy Carlos. I don't know where he went. And subscribe to the channel.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, man.